It should be a victory Monday and a happy one at that. And it is in a way, but it's also not. So we're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about turf toe. We're going to talk about what that means for the team. We're going to talk about the amount of time that Joe Burrow could be missing. We're going to talk about Jake Browning and how we should all rally behind a guy like this, because the Bengals are so fortunate to have a guy like Jake Browning as their backup quarterback. Shamar Stewart also injured. He left in a boot yesterday too. Oh my gosh, what is happening to this team? It never ends. Guys, does it ever end? The drama never ends with this team. I swear. I just bring it back down. What is happening? You're watching The Orange Report. I'm Elise Jesse. Let's dive in.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Orange Report with Elise Jesse.
From 31 yards, McPherson. And Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl. They did it. They beat Mahomes at home. Wow, Joe Burrow. No way!
The sickest Cincinnati Bengals podcast. It's gonna be sick.
All right, guys, I want to start this off because I'm sure if you care about the Cincinnati Bengals at all, you've already heard a million reports, the same reports about the potential of Joe Burrow needing surgery on a turf toe injury. It's tier 3 as it's being reported. Man. How disappointing is that? How disappointing is that? Oh my gosh. Yes, they're 2-0. This is what Bengals fans have been crying out for so many years. Start strong. Start a year without 2, 3, 4 losses in a row. Start with, and they have it. They have 2 wins under their belt to start the season. They're in good position right now. But they just lost the face of their franchise for a significant amount of time. Okay, so here's my question. I wanted to ask you guys this because I've been getting blown up with text messages about Joe Burrow and them asking if he's injury prone. And this is my question to that. And I would love for you guys to kind of answer this question. I guess in the comments would be the best place for you to answer this. Is Joe Burrow injury prone, or is the front office, are we witnessing the front office being negligent and committing malpractice against their franchise quarterback? Are we witnessing that? Because they have been unable to protect him from the jump. He had a significant knee injury on his left knee in 2020, his rookie year. He has a wrist injury, and now he could potentially be facing surgery and missing a minimum of 3 months. That 3 months is the best case scenario for Joe Burrow. That's if the surgery goes well. That's if his recovery goes well. If that's week 15, we're talking about him not being able to potentially return, best case scenario, until week 15 against the Baltimore Ravens. That's that game that would be. Wow. And let's be honest, if the Bengals aren't in a good position record-wise, there's no point in bringing Joe Burrow back. For what? What are you going to bring him back for? If the Bengals are not in contention, if they are not in an extremely good position by week 15, I think that's the last time that we've probably seen Joe Burrow for 2025. Rip that bandage off real quick. We're going to talk about turf toe in a second, but first, Huel makes eating very simple. 15% off your purchase for new customers with my exclusive code SICKBengals at Huel.com/SickBengals. Use my code and fill out the post-checkout survey to support this show. Now, there's been a lot of talk about turf toe. I'm sure if you've been a longtime Bengals fan, you remember when AJ Green suffered turf toe. And I specifically remember speaking to AJ Green at this time in the locker room about it. And he was just talking about how obnoxious that injury is because it lingers so much. And then some weeks you feel like it's good. And then all of a sudden you go through practice, and at the end of practice, like it's just not feeling right again. And it's one of those obnoxious lingering injuries, not one that you want to see a a player like a quarterback have to deal with for the rest of his future. Now, I do have a visual for you to show you. Now, this is Ariel. I have a 7-year-old daughter, so there's a lot of Barbies in my house, okay? She is not clothed, so we're not going to show her whole body, because that would not be correct. But turf toe, if I can do this appropriately, right there. That's where the ligament is. So you're going to need that to cut. You're going to need that to push off. You're going to need that to jump. You're going to need that to play that position well. And he was at a point in this game where he couldn't even walk into the locker room without help. That is not a good sign. God, I feel so bad for him. This is also a reminder that the Bengals did waste his really amazing, incredible year in 2024. Man, it just makes it so much more obvious, so much more evident. You had your quarterback who led the league in passing yards and 43 touchdowns and was playing out of his mind, and he was healthy all 17 games. What a waste. They didn't even make it to the playoffs that year. Oh, how much does that drive anger in you? It's irritating to me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like, what other team do you know about who just continually sustains bad luck after BS, after drama? Like, it just never ends. Good grief. Sorry, I'm a little peeved this morning. I'm just so tired of it. I wish that the Cincinnati Bengals had a quality defense last year, and our Bengals fans could have enjoyed Joe Burrow to the fullest in all of his prime and glory in 2024, and could have watched him play deep into the playoffs and maybe compete for a Super Bowl, but they didn't get that chance. Oh man, imagine how irritated Joe Burrow is right now. Coming off the best year of his career. And now he might not play again in 2025. Ridiculous. Expect the Bengals to sign a third quarterback this week. They've got to. Will it be a trade? Will it be grabbing somebody off of a practice squad? Are they going to dial up Desmond Ridder? Since he has experience going through training camp and stuff and preseason with this team, are they going to dial up Jeff Drixel maybe? I don't know. Maybe. Kudos to Jake Browning. Wow. I loved his quote. It was early on in his press conference and someone asked him, I think it was Charlie who asked him about like his confidence going in for the tush push, the go ahead touchdown. And he was just talking about like he's delusional. And I totally love that answer because I feel like Jake Browning has the perfect mix of talent, leadership skills, because he's very well liked within that locker room. And also the right little sprinkle of delusion in there to believe that even after throwing 3 picks in this game and it not being the best game that he's ever played, to feel like he can go ahead and win this game for the Cincinnati Bengals and do it. If you're going to be in this situation, Jake Browning is your best bet. Seriously. Like, I don't think anyone understands how fortunate the Cincinnati Bengals are to have Jake Browning on this team, who is so well liked by his teammates. He had, I think, what did he play? 7 games in 2021. He had a 70% completion percentage. They are fortunate to have that man on their team. That's all I know. Jamar Chase, man, glad they paid him. 14 catches, 165 yards, 1 touchdown. He's 7-Eleven or 24/7, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what that gas station's called. I totally forget. But he's open 24/7. He is Mr. Reliable. And like, who else is better than him from a receiver standpoint? On one hand, Jake Browning is very, very good. On the other hand, he also has players like T. Higgins, who scored a touchdown in this game. Jamar Chase, who was just absolutely helping them march down the field on their possessions that they needed to. Fantastic. Now, we've spoken about Joe Burrow's injury, and I wanted to bring this up also because this is another, it's another part to the injury, in my opinion. We can talk about and be angry at the front office all we want. They are who they are. I've said that a million times. They operate the way they operate, and that's just how they roll, okay? We know who they are, what they are. Move on. The offensive line, I don't know if I would put all of the blame on the offensive line, to be honest with you. Yes, they could. The front office could have invested a little bit more there to protect Joe Burrow. But also, during that game, the Bengals ran the ball a total of 17 times. Run the freaking. I know that you guys get annoyed with me for how much I preach about running the football. But do you agree with me yet? Run the dang ball. Run the dang ball. I know you obviously you want to pass a lot with a quarterback like Joe Burrow, but dang, at least make the defense question what you're going to do next. Please make it way too easy. It's going to be interesting how these next 3 months play out, because I think if anybody's going to get the Bengals into a position where Joe Burrow is healthy and is able to come back and lead the team in December, which is usually his best month of football, December, January, and maybe help the team make a push towards the playoffs, that would be a really cool story in 2025. And I hope that happens. I hope that they are able to accomplish that. I'm impressed also with Jake Browning's ability to come in and just put everything out of his mind and just play, because he said after the game, I think it was Tiffany Blackman who was interviewing him, and he said that he had 0 reps with any of those plays going in. He just prepares so well. And I remember talking to him when he came in for a significant amount of time in 2021, and he was just talking about how much tougher it can be for a backup quarterback, because you don't know whether or not you're going to go in, but you have to prepare every single game just as hard, if not harder, than the starting quarterback, because you cannot let there be a lapse in performance or quality if the star goes down. And I think that the way he was able to win that game says a lot about the way that he prepares. I also liked that. I'm trying to find some positivity in this whole situation, you guys, to be honest with you. I did like that the team did not, you didn't see shoulders go down. You didn't see people rolling their eyes. You didn't see bad body language on the sidelines or anything when Joe Burrow was limping into the locker room. Resilience was quite evident among that roster. So I think that's one place where you can credit the coaching staff, because they did put together a roster that doesn't have any quit. Now, am I tired of saying that every single year? Yes, I am. We say that a lot, but it usually doesn't involve Joe Burrow being hurt in the middle of a game. It usually involves them trying to claw out of a hole that they have created for themselves. I'm in disbelief that the Cincinnati Bengals could be without Joe Burrow in 2025. That was not on my bingo card, you guys. I was not prepared for this. I don't know if you were. Maybe you were. Maybe you were thinking that might happen. I was not. Let me collect myself. A word from our sponsor. Every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This isn't just football. It is first touch fireworks, anytime TD rushes, and live bets that ride every moment shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. New customers, if you bet just $5, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off an NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SICKSPORTS. That is code SICKSPORTS to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
Now, there's been a lot of talk on social media about the Bengals not bringing the cart out for Joe Burrow, even though he suffered a tier 3 turf toe injury. My gut tells me that Joe Burrow was hoping that it was something minor and something that wasn't a big deal. That's why they spent so much time. It was almost like 8 minutes or something in the blue medical tent. And then when they asked him if he wanted to take the cart, he probably declined it. The Bengals have a cart. They're not that cheap. They do have a cart. However, I am sure that Joe Burrow was like, no, I'm going to try to walk, and then was unable to, and then needed help, but he was going to try first. So that's my instinct of what I think probably really happened. The Bengals go on the road. They have a tough matchup with Minnesota in week 3. I'm lost for words. I'm interested still to watch this team, even without Joe Burrow. I think the NFL as a whole is better with Joe Burrow in it. I am interested to see how teams react to the Bengals and how they play the Bengals. They play them, obviously, this team differently when Joe Burrow is on the field versus when he is not. We unfortunately have seen that evidence of that on numerous occasions throughout the 6 years that he has been playing in the NFL. So we should expect to see a different type of game plan against Cincinnati Bengals than you would typically see if number 9 is out there. But we shall see. I mean, you would hope that the Bengals can they have the grit to find and the ability to find ways to win for the next 3 months, win until at the bare minimum week 15 and be in a position to welcome Joe Burrow back onto the field with open arms and looking to finish the season out strong and looking and aiming for the NFL playoff or the postseason and for the AFC North crown. And fortunately, they are not behind the sticks in the record books. Fortunately, they are 2-0. So I think if of any of the years for them to start strong, it's even more important this year because now like they can't afford to they couldn't afford to be 0-2. There's no way. It's the next day after it happened. That play keeps replaying in my brain. And even though it didn't look super gruesome or anything, watching him limp off was not cool to see. I'm just like in disbelief that this team they can't catch a break. It's crazy to me. Like, I don't know of any other team that constantly deals with these issues. It's never ending. I feel bad for Bengals fans. It just doesn't stop. Like, Bengals fans can't even celebrate a victory Monday. They can't even really celebrate being 2-0 because they just lost their quarterback. Woo! Wild. Insane. That's all I got for you. I'm not gonna fluff you with any more words because I am out of them, quite frankly. I'll see you next week.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, The Orange Report with Elise Jesse on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.